oh, okay. But then I would watch her whole body language shift and the way that she would talk and the way that she would all of a sudden be like this and like that and like all of the, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Like, what is happening? And at that age, you don't understand that she's flirting. Like, you're like, what is that? And the next thing we know, I got a new present. We're going somewhere. It's this, it's that. And you started being like, oh, okay.
This is how
she's getting it.
So now, heritage-wise, what's the heritage?
We're all over the place. We don't know what my dad is because he's adopted. So he says he's Native American, but he doesn't really know anything else. So I think that's why I don't really know what to say when I am. But we know that my mom is Italian and my grandma, my grandpa that raised me with her are Italian.
You're not curious about that?
Not really. I should be probably. I think now looking at my son, I'm like, okay, maybe. Because he has, well, Nick's mom as well has red hair. I have strawberry blonde hair naturally. Okay. And my son has red hair. Like he has like a dirty blonde, like a strawberry blonde, but like a little bit more of a hue. And I think it comes from both sides. But when you look at like Native American and Italian, like where does that come from?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay, fair.
I'm sure he'll want to know it.
Yeah, exactly. He'll do the DNA test.
Let him do it.
And he'll tell you,
Great.
like, Mom, don't you know?
Yeah.
You're actually from Ghana.
Exactly. I'm going to be like, great, fantastic.
All right. Yeah. So then Italian, did you feel like that was the culture that you grew up in?
Yeah, because I grew up basically with my mom and my grandma, and those are like the main people. So it was just Italian women with, yelling and making pasta and just all of that. And I didn't really embrace much else because I didn't actually get a relationship with my dad until I was like 12. I finally went to my grandma, and my grandma was like a big fan, still is, of my dad.
Okay.
And she was like, you are his twin, like his walking everything, the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I do things. Like, and I think that was a big resentment with my mom. I think that's kind of what it came from. Once I got older, I started to be like, oh, I remind you of him. Like, okay, I get it now. And my grandma was like, he's well, he's fine. Like, I think she low-key was talking to him, but she didn't want to, because my mom was very toxic. And the thing, like, their relationship was, strained, and she didn't want my mom to cut her out of our lives by ruffling any feathers.
And you think ultimately with your mother, it was that you really reminded her of your father.
Yes, but I think more so now. She's made a lot of comments over the years, and I think it's just that I'm living her dream life. And even at that time, I was living her dream life, and I was doing everything I wanted to do, and I had the confidence to do things, and it was just like I was a mirror of everything that she couldn't accomplish or wanted to do. And on top of the man that got away, it was a lot, I think. And, especially then, I was real quick at the mouth. So it was not.
It was not.
It was not good.
So you're saying your mother was jealous of you. That's how you felt.
Yeah, I guess. I hate to say that because it's like so corny to be like women are jealous of each other. Like I hate that for women. But I feel like, yeah, there's resentment when you're, especially now being a mom, I have a different look at the sacrifices that we have to, I don't want to say have to, but we have to for our kids. We make those choices. It's not like we don't choose to do them. But I don't think we understand the gravity of what we're signing up for and how much you lose yourself and what you give up. And, you're willing to do anything and everything for your child. So you're last. And like, if you have a man, like, well, for me, he'd be last. But for her or whoever else, she wasn't able to keep a man. She wasn't able to do X, Y, and Z. And it was just a constant. It was just like a constant thing with her. But I get now being a mom, like, I'm like, I miss my life, like yeah. I miss I feel like I could be doing so much more, but I'm not going to do that at the cost of my son, It should be more respectable. Like, men should respect us so much more instead of expecting.
You said that you learned from your mother how to use your looks. We can spend a moment on that.
Yeah.
Because
she's going to kill me when she sees this.
oh, wait.
She's going to be a hit on me after this.
I'm sorry, Mom. I had to go back to this.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's a big statement.
Yeah.
Right. So how did you learn from your mother to use your looks?
Well, I mean, watching her for one, you know, but it's also, I think that especially during my generation, which I feel like was the last generation to really think like this, was that you're taught that we're supposed to make men happy. Like you're supposed to grow up to be a wife. Like you're supposed to learn to cook and clean and wait on him and this and that. And then being Italian and all of that, like there's a lot in there that was like, you're supposed to do these things. You're not supposed to work. You're supposed to do this. And I was like, sounds awful. Like I don't want to do this. My mom like would torment me as a kid, like embarrass the shit out of me. Like she would like run around naked and like, you know, I had like a lot of instances that were just like when my girlfriends were over and just like uncomfortable or like birthday parties. And after that, I was very like, I don't want to be sexy. I don't want to see, like, I didn't like any of the behavior, like the way that like men would approach her when we would like be with her, which is like so inappropriate, like things like that, that I was just like, men are disgusting. Like, I hate men. They're so gross. Like, and from there, I kind of be like, oh, okay. But then I would watch her whole body language shift and the way that she would talk and the way that she would all of a sudden be like this and like that and like all of the, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Like, what is happening? And at that age, you don't understand that she's flirting. Like, you're like, what is that? And the next thing we know, I got a new present. We're going somewhere. It's this, it's that. And you started being like, oh, okay.
This is how
she's getting it. And I was like, all right, this is interesting. And then as I got older, obviously I put it together. But for a minute, I was like, I don't understand what you're doing. You look crazy. But, you know.
But so that flirting,
yeah.
You realized that if you were to flirt, you could get something in return. There was a return.
Essentially,
I mean, you were doing full analysis.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not just on your mother, but it seems like everyone.
Everything.
What was your view of yourself, like in terms of body image and how you looked?
I've always been super cocky and confident. I've always been like that. I don't know why. And even still, I had a nose job and I've done work and people are like, oh, you're insecure. I'm like, no. I just know that I can go from a 10 to a 20. Like, why not? I can. But at that time, my mom was very into our looks. So I think growing up, she just always kind of, like, we were always super athletic. Like, I had a full 6-pack as like a 6-year-old, like working out. Like, it was crazy. Right. And like, we had like long, beautiful hair and she would just like do the most to keep us like beautiful kids. Okay. And, I think growing up like that, and especially getting into the industry where I was doing stuff with Disney and I was doing commercials and like, everyone's like, you're pretty. And you're like, oh, I'm pretty. It's like what we try to tell parents now to tell your kids, like, you set the tone. You tell them. Don't let the world tell them what they are, Mine was the opposite. I grew up with other people telling me. And like, I never thought twice about it.